Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Touchdown Tech. This is episode 7. As you can probably already tell by the thumbnail and the title, we got a very special guest on the way this afternoon. We got Tim Coutras on the show, and he was awesome. But we'll get into that later on. We got to go ahead and start off by saying Tennessee Tech is 5-0 in football. 5-0 for the third time in school history. I mean, that's just amazing. They've won 10 in a row now, which is the largest streak in the FCS.
Yeah.
That's so incredible. The last team to beat them was Western Illinois. I don't know if you knew that. The last team that beat Tech was Western Illinois. That's what started the streak.
Jeez, what a full circle moment then.
Yeah.
We absolutely obliterated them.
Yeah, we did. Final score 66-20, and man, it was just there was a little bit of adversity, I guess you could say, at the beginning because they got up on a 7-3 early in the game.
First time any team has led Tech.
Yeah, that's what I looked at you. I told you, I said, what's going on here? You were like, I don't know. And then I was like, I think they'll figure it out.
Yeah. About
10 minutes later, we scored. It was like, no big deal.
Yeah.
We got it all in control.
No, it was fine. And what a great game, honestly. We were both there. We were both taking video and picture. And what a game, man. Full of highlights, full of great moments, really.
Not to toot both of our own horns here, but we got some pretty good stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll see some of that throughout the episode.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be rolling through the whole time. So we're definitely more than just podcast hosts.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I even updated my Instagram bio to say writer, photographer, and podcast host. So I'm taking on multiple titles
Triple
now.
threat Hitchcock here.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the Tennessee Tech football side of things. Dominant performance. Passing game was on fire.
Oh, my God.
Gracious. I mean, Kakoa and Noah were just clicking. I mean, it was all day. It was much like you saw against TSU, but everybody else got involved as well this time. I thought Brian Courtney showed up in a big way today, the tight end, so that was good to see. But Kakoa was just in a rhythm. He had over 430 yards total, 4 touchdowns. Walter Camp, game ball, OVC Player of the Week. Again, that's the second time this year he's got an OVC Player of the Week on offense. I mean, he's racking up the accolades, and it's only 5 games in.
Yeah, dude, he might be one of the best quarterbacks in the FCS.
I think so.
He's so dominant. It's unreal.
I'll say one thing: the connection between Vesperis and Robinson is one of the best in the FCS, not just the OVC. I mean, it's starting to really take off. You know what I mean? I think they're starting to really connect, and I think it's going to be every game. It's not just going to be here and there. It's just the consistency's there. You know what I mean? He's the true wide receiver 1 now, and he talked about it when we had him on the show last week, talking about how they were roommates and they're really good. There's a good connection there, you know, and so they can probably finish each other's sentences. You know what I mean? I'm sure they've got a lot of chemistry there, so on and off the field. So that's good to see.
You know what's crazy about that? Noah Robinson, 7 catches for 126 yards and 3 touchdowns. There were a few passes that he was overthrown on. Yeah. So he could have had more.
Yeah.
I have this, I don't know if we're going to put this in or not, but I have these couple of shots from where I was taking photos. I am lined up perfectly with Noah Robinson streaking down the field.
Okay.
And ball's coming over. He's looking up at it. He's getting ready to catch it, and it's just slightly too far.
Yeah.
And that could have been number 4 on the day. It's crazy. Like, we got overthrown a few times, so he could have done so much more. That's the crazy part.
I agree. I don't know if I was going to cut you off there, but what I was just going to say is they had as much success as they did, and like you're saying, you could argue that they didn't even play their best.
Yeah.
Like, the potential was even higher than what they actually accomplished. So
absolutely.
It could have been, like you said, 400-plus yards passing and 200 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. But those are records. I mean, those are just that doesn't happen around here very often. No. You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of a rarity for Tech, really, over the past decade.
They're right. And we kind of talked about last week. We thought they were going to be able to run the ball on Western Illinois because of what Eastern Illinois did to them. That wasn't really the case. Kakoa did a really good job of taking off and running and getting what he could on the scrambles.
Yeah.
But as far as the running backs, they weren't really able to get into a jive. But Coach Waters said in the presser, he said, we kind of went into the game expecting to throw the ball. So that shows they know more about it than we do. Because we told them to run the ball.
Maybe we don't know as much as we think we do about Tech football. Maybe we're not the premium source of information about Tech football. Maybe the fans just need to start asking Coach Wilder all the questions.
Yeah, we just talk, honestly. We didn't halftime. We don't even know what we're talking about.
No.
But regardless, though, you can't take anything away from that passing game. It was on fire. And like I said, it wasn't just Noah. Maury Sullivan got open. Tramel Jones was looking really good. Trey Holloway was still a factor. You know what I mean? There was just a lot of big plays in that game on offense.
Absolutely. A lot of deep balls. We saw a lot.
Yeah.
Running wise, there wasn't too many long runs. I think Kakoa had the longest on the day.
Mm-hmm.
But no, passing wise, we were just hitting them deep, and we broke off a lot of plays. There was a lot of plays that we hit them short and then broke off deep.
Yeah.
I think Noah had a play like that. I think Trey had a play like that.
Yeah.
So, a lot of big time plays. We weren't moving the ball like slowly and methodically, and not as much.
Big plays.
Yeah, a lot of big plays. And I think part of that went back to the running game not being what it should have been. I don't know what Western Illinois did, or if that was a decision by Coach Wilder to throw the ball a lot, but we weren't moving it. We weren't pounding the rock, so I guess they had to take it to the air.
Yeah, like I said, that was kind of their game plan going in was to throw the ball. I'm going to look at the attempts. Kadarius Jennings had 7 attempts, Aiden Little's 5, Quintel Quinn 5. They got the ball to Tramel Jones on a carry. Obisani had 2, Torrin Baker 3. So you didn't really see many rushing attempts. They would drop back and threw the ball a lot because that's what their game plan was, and that's what they planned on doing from the very beginning, and it worked out. Over 350 passing yards through the air on just Kakoa's part. Then you bring in Jace Wilson at the end of the game.
Yeah.
You throw a 94-yard bomb to Luke Shields, remnant of the Chattanooga game. Same play. You know what I'm saying? That scored on that deep ball against Chattanooga at the end of the game. So
we were already in the press box by then. We were done taking photos and stuff, and we're just sitting up there sipping drinks, and we just see this bomb go downfield, and we're like, oh. Yeah. Press box starts freaking out. Everyone's like, oh, my God.
Wow, yeah. And it's 66-20.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. That's a beat down. I mean, the train just keeps rolling. But in the post-game presser, Wilder talked about Western Illinois beating them last year, and they kind of took that personally.
Oh, yeah.
So this is kind of a revenge tour. You know what I mean? I kind of hate for SEMO to have to come down here in a couple of weeks because they beat us last year, too, and they beat us pretty bad.
I hate for any team to come down here, honestly. I'd hate for some FBS teams to come down here.
Yeah.
They'd have a rough time. But no, Wilder, I definitely see it being a revenge thing. I definitely think that's what fueled them. I think that's why we kept firing close to the end of the game. And I know Wilder, he doesn't like to let up, and I like that in a coach.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I mean, I don't even know if it was a matter of not letting up. I think it was just, let's put Jace out there and get the 2s out there, and let's see if they can operate the offense just like the 1s can. They proved that they can.
Yeah.
That's what I take from it.
Every time Jace comes in, he's always like pretty good completion percentage wise. He always just seems to rack up like 100 yards near the end of the game. I don't know how he does it, but he just takes every opportunity he can get.
They're not the same players, but it's kind of like in 22 when Tennessee had Hooker, and then they would throw in Joe Milton at the end of the game to throw 60-yard bombs.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Jace Wilson's got more touch on the football than Joe Milton ever thought about having.
Well,
but it's just fun. Look here, at the end of the day, in order to be the number 1 scoring offense in the country, what do you have to do? You got to score.
Yeah.
You got to score points. You have to have a lot of points at the end of the game. 66 is a lot of points.
Yeah.
So that's what that boils down to.
Not only is it like we want to be the number 1 team in the nation scoring wise. That's just a good thing for offensive players to see, like recruiting wise or transfer wise. You go, why would I want to go to your school that's putting up 25 a game or 26 a game? When I can go to this team that's putting up 60 every game consistently.
And 2, you're rewarding guys like Jace Wilson and Luke Shields. Who knows? Those might be the 2 hardest workers on the team. I don't know. But Luke Shields has been involved on 2 deep ball touchdowns at the end of the game this year. That makes me think that he's doing the right things in practice, in meetings. You see what I'm saying? The coaches like to reward guys like that. That's just kind of my spin on it. That could be wrong. But defensively, you saw more big plays. There was no shy of turnovers, and just you had a sack by Hudson Tucker where he got up and did the money celebration.
Got that picture. Yeah.
I know. I got the video. We got good stuff of that. So it's good to see Hudson back and in full swing. He's a problem to block. I mean, he's just a big dude.
There's a lot of guys on that D line that are a problem to block. That's the big thing.
I know it. They got after the quarterback a bunch on defense, and they had to roll out Carson, what was his name? Carson Carswell or Chris Carswell or something like that?
I don't know. They don't put jerseys on there. They don't put names on their jerseys.
Yeah. Number 15, and I know he's a freshman.
Yeah.
They rolled him out a bunch. Credit to that kid, though. I don't mean to cut you off. Credit to that kid. He had a good day, but he just got walloped.
Yeah. He was running like a deer in the middle of a highway. He was Every time he'd snap the ball, he's got a guy coming through this way, a guy coming through that way. He's just having to roll out and see what he can complete on their move. I feel bad for him, really. He was getting chased down the whole game.
I'd say he's probably still sore.
Probably.
Right
I saw
now.
him take a few nasty hits.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, they had to roll him out because the pressure was so intense on every play. Andrew Smith, you got a quick shout out for Andrew Smith,
Yep.
man.
Another pick six.
Back-to-back weeks, back-to-back games with pick sixes. I've not seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Out of any player.
It was so funny. I have a funny story from that. I'm over here. I'm shooting shots at the quarterback. I'm hoping to get a sack. Because the play happens right in the end zone, in their end zone.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I get to see a sack. I'm hoping there's a safety. That would be beautiful.
Yes.
He throws this ball, and all I hear is I just see an interception. I have to whip my camera around as fast as I can to get the tail end of this play.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So and then he just stumbles in. I think he caught himself on the ground. He pushed himself off the ground, just managed to stay upright and dived into the end zone. And then team's just celebrating like crazy because
Team's going nuts. Yeah.
2 pick sixes in back-to-back weeks. That's crazy.
Then you had another turnover. It was forced by. I'm not gonna get this guy's name right. His first name's Chima. Awagwu. I'm going with Awagwu, number 91. Guy's a beast. I'm not taking anything away from him as a football player. I just don't know how to say his name. He forced the fumble. Our guy, Tim Coutras, scoops it up. I thought he scored on that play.
I did too.
Evidently, he stepped out.
I don't know what the refs were talking about.
Evidently, he stepped out. I didn't see it. I say let the guys play. It's already at that point like 59-20, or I mean, it may have been like 52-20 because I think we punched it in with Obi Sani after that. But anyway, it got Obi a chance to score a touchdown, so that's good.
Who cares about a little out of bounds line? I know Coutras doesn't.
No,
but
he's a team player anyway. We learned that today, so I'm sure he was glad to get Obi that touchdown.
I think let's have the fans. I'm sure they've been very antsy about this.
They don't want to hear us.
No, they want to see Tim Coutras, and let's cut to that.
Fair enough. Here's Tim Coutras. Here with Tennessee Tech football captain and safety Tim Coutras. Tim, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So we got some questions for you. I want to take it back all the way to high school days. Your days at Nolensville, right?
Okay.
Tell me about the Nolensville days, man.
Oh, the Nolensville Nights. It was probably the most fun I've ever had playing football. It was the community would come out every single Friday, make it a very cool atmosphere to play in front of, and then, just playing with some guys that are still my best friends today. It was definitely probably one of the most fun moments I've had playing the sport of football. Looking back, just like you said that, all the memories kind of just hit me. But we had a good year my senior year, so it was really fun to go out on top like that.
Did you play the same time Daniel Rickert was there? Were you on the same team?
Me and Dan came in as freshmen together and left as seniors. Yeah, we were best friends. Yeah.
That's a terrifying defense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Good little 1-2 punch.
Man,
Good little 1-2 punch.
And he's killing it at Virginia now.
He
You
is.
keeping up with him?
Yeah, he has, I think, 4.5 sacks through 5 games.
Yeah.
He's been going crazy.
I watched a little bit of the Florida State game when they beat him in overtime, which was a nut. That was a crazy game. And they were putting him in certain pass rush situations. Dude, 52 was in the backfield every
time. Getting the job done.
When the ball gets snapped, he's full go.
Oh yeah, no, he's been like that since high school too. He doesn't run out of energy. His tank is always full of gas. So it's crazy.
I love that.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So, you went to Liberty coming out of high school. Is that correct?
I did.
What was that like?
It was shocking. I definitely learned a lot. I definitely everything that happened. I want. If I would to go back in time, I would have it happen again. I tore my ACL going to Liberty, going in as a freshman, so I didn't really have the best freshman experience. But the things that I learned, football and then outside of football through religion and Christianity, I wouldn't change it for the world. It helped me grow as a man. It helped me develop my character a lot. So when I came to Tennessee Tech, I kind of had all the tools. I just needed the platform.
Yeah. So your faith, is that something you kind of still hold near to your heart?
Yeah, for sure. I tore my ACL going into Liberty. I was at a low point in my life mentally. never really thought I would play the sport again. I tore it during COVID, so the rehab was skewed. My surgery kept getting delayed, stuff like that. So all doubt just kept creeping in. And it was like that for a while at Liberty until I met a teacher. He was actually, it was a funny, long story, but we ran into each other a few times before, and then one day we finally kind of sat down and chopped it up for a good 30, 40 minutes. And he kind of pushed me to grow my faith even more. So now it's a huge deal of my life as well.
That's awesome, man. I love that. And so, you obviously from Liberty, you made the decision to come to Tech.
Mm-hmm.
What was kind of the influence on that? Was it a little bit of Daniel Rickert telling you hey, you got a pretty good squad over here?
It was. Funny story. Me and Dan, when we were seniors in high school, we told each other if nothing goes to plan, let's just go somewhere together and then just finish it out. So that's kind of what happened. He really pushed me hard to the coaches, to the old staff here to offer me when I entered the portal. So shout out to Dan, man, for getting me here. But it was that too. My parents, once I graduated from Nolensville, they moved out to Lebanon. So Tech is only 40 minutes away, you know. So just to be able to go home on the weekends and have a home cooked meal for my mom, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. So
that's pretty cool. So you can credit Daniel Rickert.
Yeah, you can credit
Tim
Dan.
Coutras here. That's awesome. Man.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So I noticed last Saturday in the presser, Coach Wilder was kind of talking about how he's been able to get you guys less snaps this year and kind of get you more fresh. Do you think that's kind of improved your game so far, or at least made you more comfortable and more healthy throughout the season?
Yeah, 100%. My body feels amazing. Some days I still feel like I got in a car wreck, but most of the times I walk out on Sunday or Monday and I'm like, oh, I feel pretty good.
Right,
last year it was I would come out Sunday, Monday, and then it might have been Wednesday, Thursday when I was like, all right, I feel good.
Yeah.
So just being able to split reps and not even split reps, but a lot of the guys on our defense, they can play.
Absolutely.
The depth that we have, everybody can play. So it's good to get the rest, but it's also good to see your teammates go out there and be able to make plays as well.
Yeah, that depth is something that has really shown up through these first few games, and that's going to carry you guys even further throughout the rest of the year.
For sure.
So
For sure.
I got one last question, and we'll send it over to Adam. What was it like watching the turnaround of Tech football before your very eyes? Because you were on both staffs. You were in both situations. What has that been like?
Oh, man, it's been pretty night and day. From the second Coach Wilder walked in, he told us this is how he wants it, and if you're not going to do it this way, then go find another team. So the amount of dedication that this coaching staff has to be successful, the amount of effort and energy they pour into us, and not just us, but the support staff that we have, the academic staff, our Coach Wilder kind of got the ball rolling. I feel like Tech has always had the resources. They've always had the community support behind our athletics, but having a team that hasn't been successful in however many years we had, to finally see that kind of success and you kind of see the snowball start rolling, okay, we can really do something with this. It's not just a 7-5 season. We can actually build upon that and get even better than just a conference champion.
I love that. And I've loved covering Tech football. I covered a little bit of it last year. I had a podcast last year. It wasn't as big as this one, but man, this year, like you said, daylight and dark. It's been a crazy difference, and it's just been so fun to watch you guys just dominate. But yeah, you've been my guy since day one. I remember last year I had the podcast, and I kept saying, whenever I could highlight you, I wanted to, because I just knew how good of a player you were and stuff, and you had a lot of preseason hype, All-American deal with philsteele.com, so that's pretty cool. So I appreciate you coming on the pod, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for having me, and none of the accolades that I had or anything that I had wouldn't be without the teammates that I had, man. They make my job so much easier than what it is, so shout out to them as well.
Shout out to the team.
Yep.
All right, Adam, you up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now I'm going to ask Tim a few questions. First question I want to ask is, you're a captain on the team. Mm-hmm. How long have you been a captain on the team, first off?
This will be my second season being the captain of the team, so yeah.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a vocal leader when you're on the field? Are you making, adjustments? Are you communicating to the guys? Are you getting them fired up at practice?
Sometimes I feel like when we're on the field, when we're in the huddle, I'm a vocal leader. I tell everybody like where to line up, stuff like that. But off the field, I'm kind of quiet, kind of laid back. You know, I'm not a big talky guy, so that's not me. I'm not a big get you hyped up guy. You know, I feel like you should be able to do that yourself. You know, but when we cross them white lines, I'm pretty vocal. I feel like my defense knows that I'm pretty loud and they're going to hear me. So,
if I had to take my money on who the hype man of the team is, it'd probably be Swafford. I see him get fired up all the time.
He does. He plays with a lot of passion. He plays with a lot of emotion. It's fun to play by him. Hype man, I don't know. Swaff's a little quiet too. I would say D-Ron's definitely D-Ron or Amari.
Yeah,
Amari's a big hype guy. They love to play the game of football. It's fun to play with them, and how much energy they have when they play.
All right. One thing I did want to ask you is about what's the mindset of the team moving forward? Because now you're 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
You just the third time in school history. What are y'all saying to yourselves? What's going on in the locker room? What's the message heading forward?
To be honest with you, man, it's just another day.
Yeah.
Next day. Next day is the most important day. Don't look too far ahead. Don't look too far back in your rearview mirror. Just focus on where your feet are right now in the moment, and go from there. You know, I think we've had these talks in the summer of how good we could be and the potential of this team. So to see it kind of not fall through, but to come to fruition, it's kind of, you just have to have the same mindset. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. You know, it's just one day at a time.
That's fair. That's a good mindset to have. You know, don't get caught up too much in the flash or all the records and stuff like that. Just keep it moving.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
For you, what's the most important part about football to you? Because I know a lot of guys, it's the brotherhood. A lot of guys, they like going out there and playing. It's, you know, the game. What's it to you?
I think the most important part about football to me is the legacy you leave after you leave. You know, whether it's your high school team or your college team or even your NFL team. You know, what are people going to say about you when you leave? You know, I think that's the biggest stain that you can leave from a program is like, what was Tim Coutras like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
What was he like when you got to coach for him or play against him or see him play? You know, what was he like? You know, and not just individually. I think the legacy your team leaves. You know, like this defense that we have. I've been here for 3 years, and it's been the best defense in our conference the past 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's the legacy that I'm leaving. That's the legacy that Aaron Swafford's leaving. That's the legacy that Theron Gaines is leaving. You know, what are people going to say when you leave? You know, and I think when people look at us, they look at our defense, they're like, wow, them 3, 4, 5 years that they were there, they were pretty dang good.
Yeah.
You know, that defense was pretty. They flew around, they hit people, they were physical.
Oh no, I'm for sure people will remember this team. And guys like you who have been here a good minute. Nowadays in college football, a lot of guys move around. A lot of guys, they seek different situations, and you've been here. So you stuck it out through a bit of the bad, you know. So I think that kind of legacy mindset is something that we don't see too often now. Now a guy's more worried about taking the next step, heading somewhere else, or what can they get at this current place. For you, I think it's a lot about what can you leave.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of came up with that. Like when I was a little kid, my dad played college football. My family was a big sports family. And every time it would be a Sunday or a Saturday, people would come over and watch football. And as a kid to listen to my dad talk about with his buddies about football games, like high school football games or college football games when he's 10, 20 years retired. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I look forward to. That's the stuff that I can't wait to have conversations with my teammates and buddies that I've been friends with my whole entire life. You know, that's the type of legacy I want to leave.
Where'd your dad play?
My dad played High school ball at Overton High School in Nashville.
Yeah.
And then he went to Cincinnati and played.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So D1.
Yeah. He was a little cornerback. So
okay. Learned from him.
Sometimes his game was old time, so the stuff he teaches me now is just not. It doesn't translate.
Yeah.
So
different game now.
Yeah, different game.
So one last question I had for you is, what's life after football? What's the plan?
So my biggest thing, like I said, I grew up in a sports family. I want to stay in sports. I want to be, when I first get done, I want to be a coach. The biggest thing one of my high school teachers ever told me is he loved to change people's lives.
Yeah.
And what better way to do that than being a coach? Whether it's for a high school or a college team, you get these young people and you get to actually sit there and change their lives, for the better. So I think that's something that I really want to do, and take pride in, to change people's lives. And then, once I get my foot in the door a little with coaching, I want to transition to the front office role of whether it's professional teams or college teams. I want to stay in sports, but I don't want to be a coach for too long.
Yeah.
I want to get to the business side of it and work it that way.
What if you just start winning?
That could help.
Yeah. What if you just want to stay a coach if you keep winning? Why give it up, Talk about legacy.
Yeah.
Something.
You're right. I don't know. We'll get to that. Yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Absolutely, man. No, everything that you talk about, from wanting to leave a legacy here, from wanting to go and coach and change people, that all speaks to your mentality, man. That's a great mindset to have.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you all for having me. It was a blast. It was a blast.
Yeah, and we'll cut back to our regularly scheduled programming.
And we are back. Man, I'll be honest with you, that was probably my favorite interview so far. Not to take anything away, Tyler Wagner have a special place in our hearts.
He's such a friendly dude, Wagner was.
Yeah, I love Wagner.
Koa, very, very focused.
Very
that
chill.
Man, he's nonchalant.
Very nonchalant, very quarterback one, very calm and under pressure kind of thing.
That's what I like.
I liked Kokoa, obviously. Anytime you get the quarterback on a podcast, that's cool. But I think I go back to the guys that were here last year. I got a soft spot for those guys, like Tim and Swafford. But just a good guy. He was really thorough with his answers, you know what I mean? And it's just, I liked having him on. So he was probably my favorite interview so far.
No, that mentality that's something I can get behind any day.
Facts.
That's probably going to be something that we end up writing about, is him and his mentality.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best mentalities I've heard from a college athlete.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a mature guy. You know what I'm saying? He's been there, done that. This is his third year at Tech. And he just, like Coach Wilder talked about, it's so much different coaching a guy who's 23, 24 as opposed to like an 18, 19-year-old kid, because you're just at different stages in your life. Yeah. And Tim is at a stage in his life right now where he's playing good football, but he understands the concept. He understands the goal. So I think that was impressive to see that, like you said, from his mentality. But great player and an even better podcast guest.
Yeah. Maybe, he talked about he wanted to coach a little bit. He talked about maybe doing some front office stuff. Maybe that man needs a future in the podcast business. Maybe he needs to be on a TV show or something. Maybe.
I think so. I think he's got a good personality, and I think he's just well spoken. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Tim, he was good. He's a good player. He had a good game. Like I said, he scooped up that fumble.
Yeah.
Not much more you can say about it. Just a good overall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a preview to Charleston Southern next week. They've got Charleston Southern this Saturday on the road. They're 1-5 right now, so they're kind of limping into this game. They've not had a bye week yet. Tech has. They're Tech, for the most part, even though they're 5 games in the season, they seem to be pretty well rested and pretty healthy as a team, which is huge.
Heading into your 7th game with no bye week is insane.
Yeah, I mean it's not ideal.
I feel bad for them. I know that's rough.
Especially a team like Tech coming and play you.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting a break already, and then you got the number 7 ranked Golden Eagles coming into town.
Absolute powerhouse. Coming to beat you down.
I mean, just a machine. They're just Tech's hungry still. That's the part that is just so impressive to me. They're so hungry. The goal has not yet been accomplished, and the whole team knows that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're trying to win that OVC title outright, which would get them a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then you take care of business from there, and you could really get some recognition for not only the football program but the university.
Yeah,
which is huge.
Winning a playoff game, or even going to the playoffs, would be tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be incredible, really. I don't know if they're going to do it considering the stadium construction, and I don't know how all that works. But if we could get a home game at Tucker Stadium for the playoffs, absolute cinema. I would call out of work. I would call out of work. I'd skip it. I'd come to the game. I'd shoot film. I'd get videos. I'd get photos. I'd do whatever, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. but it might become a regular thing if if he's still coaching here.
Yeah.
He could have a dynasty here. Really, he's already built one up in 2 years.
I know.
And now he's just I think he can really tear it up.
Yeah. Well, this team's just they're just so talented. They're special. Like we talked about with Tim, they've got a lot of depth, and that's something that really has shown up so far throughout the year. And I think that's a credit to why they're so healthy, and they don't have a lot of guys banged up. You know, they went into the season a little bit banged up, but they've got those guys back now, especially coming off that bye week a couple of weeks ago. So that's really good to see. But that depth will continue to show up as the season progresses because you're going to get guys banged up. It's football.
Yeah.
But I like the position they're in right now. I'll say that. I don't want to go into too much praise for this team, but because that's really that's all we do. It's just praise them all the time.
We like to glaze a little bit.
Well, you got to a little bit.
Yeah.
When you're 5-0 and you're setting records every week, it's kind of hard to be negative.
Yeah.
But going back to Charleston Southern, they've got a quarterback. His name is Zoltan Osborne. It's a cool name.
Yeah.
No relation to Ozzy that I know of.
That's a shame.
I know.
Zoltan sounds like a name Ozzy Osbourne would come up with.
Yeah. I'm going to name my son Zoltan.
The Zolt Man.
The Zolt Man. No, he's a pretty good player. I've not really watched his film because I don't have access to the film. There's only one game that can show you the highlights. That's against Vanderbilt, and they got beat 45-3. So I'm not going to watch that. But I'm not on the coaching staff. I don't have access to the kid's film. But from the passing stats, he seems to be a pretty decent player. He seems to be kind of an up and down guy. What I have noticed though, I don't think he's very mobile, which is in Tech's favor.
Yeah.
Unless you can get away from that pressure, you're going to have a hard time getting away. I mean, it's going to be all night long. You're going to be sitting there getting pressured, and the pocket's going to collapse because Tech's defensive line is so good.
Yeah, you are a sitting duck. And again, we haven't seen what he can do. Maybe he likes to roll out, but he doesn't like to go past the line of scrimmage. Maybe
that's true.
We should look into getting some game film. I think that should be a new segment on the show.
No.
We put game film up on this TV and we start breaking down plays.
Hey, look here at this Mike linebacker right here.
He gets back there, he blitzes the gap, and he shoots up there and hits that guy like a pile driver.
We could do a little bit of that. Get us like some pointers and stuff, and like start pointing at what we're talking about.
Little yardstick, just
would break the TV. I'd really watch the force in which we use the yardstick on there, but. The run game, I think the run game is pretty dangerous. They got a guy, Kamarian Baldwin. He'd come off a 175-yard performance against Gardner-Webb and 3 touchdowns. That's really important because Gardner-Webb's pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what we'll see. Their strength seems to be their run game, to me. But Tech's strength on defense is their stop. They can stop the run.
Yeah.
So.
No, that absolutely. I think you are correct. They can absolutely stop the run.
Yeah.
Secondary is pretty good though.
For sure. Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the secondary, but I just know the rushing yards is below 100 every game.
Yeah. I think at this game, I don't remember how many rushing yards they had, but there was a point in the game where they had like maybe 30 passing yards and 20 rushing yards, and Tech had like 200.
Oh yeah.
Total. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We are destroying them.
That's definitely what Tech prides themselves on, not only on defense, but I think on the entire team and the entire mentality of the football team is to stop the run. Because, football is a game of, it's a game of inches. And if you're able to run the football and you're able to stop the run, your chances of winning they go up exponentially, right?
Yeah.
That's really how you win games. It's nice to be flashy and throw the ball all over the yard like you saw Saturday. That's always fun. You can do that against certain teams, but when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, who ran the ball better and who stopped the run better is usually your victors.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. I think I want to talk about we're heading into Charleston Southern, right?
That's correct.
One thing I think we really need to talk about is what do you think this team is going to look to go towards now? Because we've passed the game. Passing game was incredible this week. Mm-hmm. Run game, it had its first quiet week, and quiet considering they had 166 rushing yards.
That's still a pretty good amount.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to look to do in this game? Are we going to run the ball, or are we going to keep throwing it?
Well, obviously they've got the game film and they've got a game plan for every team that they play, like they did against Western Illinois. They set their eyes on the passing game against Western Illinois, and it worked to perfection. If I had to guess, I would say you would start out with the run game and see if you can get something going, because at the end of the day, that's your bread and butter. If you can run the football on somebody and you do that for 4 quarters, there's no reason to ever drop back and throw it.
Yeah.
But if, they want to have that balance too, and I understand that. But I think they start out with the run game, see if you can get Quintel Quinn going behind this offensive line. Guys like Aiden Littles, Darius Jennings, Obi Sani, Torrin Baker. I mean, the list goes on, and kind of see what you can get done there. And if, I don't know, the Tech's just going to run their offense. You know what I mean? They're going to run their offense, and whoever's got the hot hand, whether it be Kakoa or whether it be that offensive line and those running backs, they will put up the numbers necessary to win the game. I have full confidence in that.
I like what you talked about there with, starting the game off with the run game, filling them out.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? Different sport, but it reminds me of boxing.
Yeah.
Run game is like your jab. You're hitting them a little bit, trying to see if you can maybe tag them a bit. Passing game is more like your left hook. Yeah. That's the power. It could put you in a bad position. You could have some costly turnovers. It could go pretty south. But overall, that's your money maker.
I agree.
That's where the big numbers come from. But I think you're absolutely right. I think Tech is going to feel out Charleston Southern a lot, and I think that this is also going to be a game where they work on preparing for better opponents. I'm not going to say that they're going to be like, it's like an easy cupcake game,
No.
But I do think that they're going to take this time to, one, rest some of your guys, especially if you get up big, and two, I think they're going to take the time to work out the game plan a little bit more, see what they can scheme up, see what kind of looks they get on defense and offense. I think they're going to take this game to really scout out Charleston Southern and see how they react in game.
Yeah, I like the boxing analogy there. I do think, Charleston Southern will have a lot on their hands, defensively trying to stop Tech and the jabs and the left hooks that they take. But defensively is what I like. I like about this matchup to me because like I said, their strength is their run game. Tech's defensive strength is stopping the run. Their quarterback is not very mobile, it doesn't seem like to me. So he's going to be stuck back there in that pocket and letting that defensive line just come after him every play. And so that to me is a bad matchup for Charleston Southern, but we'll see how it all pans out. This game this past weekend didn't really go exactly like I expected, but they won the game and they won handily. You know what I mean? They dominated. So that's really all that matters. You want to keep winning these conference games, keep stacking days as far as that goes. But yeah, speaking of the left hooks, we had some big left hooks this past weekend.
Big. We're like Mike Tyson out there just throwing haymakers. Really.
Right. Left hooks, right hooks, all the above. And so that's kind of a little hint into Dude of the Week. We'll go ahead and transition into that. Who's the Dude of the Week for you, Adam?
My Dude of the Week, the one, the only, the offensive OVC Big South Player of the Week.
Here we go.
Kakoa QB1 Vesperis.
Okay.
Absolute dog. Killed it.
Introduction.
Killed it. That's all I can say about that. I mean, how many yards did he have passing?
358,
358, I think.
358 is what ESPN says. Yeah.
4 touchdowns, 24-38 completion-wise. That's just a monster game.
Yeah.
He was darting up left and right. He was killing it. That's all you can really say. And I think there's another contender for Dude of the Week that I think you're going to mention here, and that guy is his roommate.
That's right, Noah Robinson, baby. So this is the first time we've had an actual repeat on Dude of the Week. We've got 2 repeats this week. Noah Robinson's won it back-to-back weeks. Shout out to him. He's playing out of his mind. I mean, there was really no other option. This guy, he's making plays. He had 3 touchdowns, 7 catches, 126 yards. He just looks to be in a groove. And what I can say about Kakoa is just rhythm. He's in a rhythm. He's confident. He looks really calm in the pocket, and even outside of the pocket, he knows when to elude that pressure, and he's just playing really well. And he looks like he's played football before. You know what I mean? Like he's nothing really surprises him, I don't think.
No.
Which is really impressive. So shout out to those guys, the roommate duo.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be seeing them a lot more. They may win 3 or 4 Dude of the Weeks, but we couldn't exclude them this week. We could have went Andrew Smith again. He had another pick 6. But we could have went a few different ways, but these guys were just tearing it up.
3 touchdowns as a wide receiver and 126 yards.
That's right.
That's Dude of the Week material right there. Passing wise, that Kakoa's performance, Dude of the Week material.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to say it. There wasn't anything else that stood out. There's a few turnovers, there's a defensive touchdown, but I think by and far those two guys carried.
Yeah, I agree. It was a pretty easy selection for Dude of the Week this
Yeah.
week. You had a couple repeats, that's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, if you ball out, you get Dude of the Week. That's what happens. But overall, that's all the time we have for you guys this week. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to episode 7 of Touchdown Tech. We're already in episode 7. That's crazy.
Flown by, really.
It's flown by. We're moving right along.
Time flies when you're winning.
It does. That's good. That's how we're going to end it. See y'all next week.